is Miss Miss or Mrs. Miss Bridget Esquire, um, attorney at law, barrister, um, Queen's Counsel, King's Counsel, Straight Counsel, all kind of counsel. See? So she's also Beenie Man's lawyer, Joshy lawyer, my lawyer, although I'm not lawyer, but you know, we have an overstanding. So you were pressed and we going live on based on matter of emergency and awareness where you wanted people to be aware of a certain things. Now, I don't know what it is. So you have to explain to people what is the concern and what is the awareness where you want them to have. So please go ahead.
Yes. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Foota. Although you trouble me all the time, but thank you for the platform to get important information to the immigrant community. Because the truth is, although there are a lot of people that are celebrating Donald Trump's victory and this and that, including many of our own, the truth is that a lot of immigrants are running scared. And I really want people who are here in the United States to know what are their rights in case they have an encounter with ICE. Thank you again for the opportunity to come on the platform to educate and advise our community. So my name is Bridget Bennett. I'm a practicing attorney for the last 13 years. I'm also known as the Reggae Visa Lawyer. This is my personal page. So if you want to follow me, try to like the Reggae Visa Lawyer page, okay? So I really want everybody to know because people are running scared. I'm going to a lot of events where you would see a lot of people coming out and the people them now come out. People are afraid. So I really want to get people to understand what are your rights here in the United States as it relates to immigration. And the fact of the matter is America is a constitution. It doesn't Everyone has rights, whether you have documents or you don't have documents, right? So I'm going to give you some information about what to do if ICE visits you at your house, at your workplace, because there are raids that are being conducted now, and what happens to you if ICE stops you in public. So first, let's talk about if you're home and you hear the door knock and you think it's ICE. First of all, you don't have to open the door. You absolutely do not have to open the door and let them in unless they have a valid judicial warrant. There are a couple of types of warrants, so I want to make sure you understand the difference. What ICE is using, those are administrative warrants, meaning that anybody who working at ICE, any supervisor, they can issue a warrant. But under the Constitution, those warrants do not permit them to come into your home. They must have a judicial warrant that is signed by a judge. That is the only warrant that would permit someone to come into your house. So if they're knocking on the door, you have to ask them and say, what kind of warrants you have? Is it signed by a judge? Because you don't have to let them come into your house. If they say they have one signed by the judge, you can tell them, well, slide it under my door. Or if they have you have a ring or something like that, or a window, they can hold it up so you can see it and examine it for yourself. Because you don't have to trust them. And in fact, I say don't trust them because they don't have your best interest at heart. When you're looking at the warrant, make sure it has your correct name and address on it. And that it is signed by a judge, because if it's not, they can go about their business and you go about your business. If at any point you decided you want to talk to the officers and you want to talk to them, you can go outside. You do not have to permit them to come into your home. So that's the first thing. You don't have to let them in unless they have a warrant and you want to verify what kind of warrant they need. Second thing that's very important, which most people know the Fifth Amendment, is the right to remain silent. So you don't have to say a damn thing. And I can tell you from all of my practice, most people get in trouble because of their own mouth. They talk too much. And most of these law enforcement officers are trained on a silence technique. They will say something and just let silence prevail, right? Because psychologically, we are programmed to want to say something to fill the silence. So that's what the trick they use. So they'll just say something, put it out there, and then they let you run with it. But your best option is not to say a word. You don't have to say anything, right? If they ask you, well, where were you born? How did you enter the United States? You don't have to answer. And if you don't answer, you should say, I choose to not answer this question. All right. And you can tell them, I would like to speak with my lawyer. If you have a lawyer, wonderful. And in this day and age, I do suggest you have a lawyer on retainer, meaning that if something happens, you already have someone to contact, right? So you do not have to give them any information. You do not have to say anything. You can simply say you do not want to talk and you want to talk to your lawyer and have your lawyer handle the situation. From there, they are immediately legally supposed to stop all conversations, right? Don't show them any false identification document. Don't confirm what country you're from or how you enter the country. Just be silent and tell them you're invoking your right to silence and you would like to speak with an attorney. So those are the things that you can do in the moment if ICE comes to your door. Besides contacting a lawyer, you also have the right to contact your consulate. So if you're a Jamaican and you're here, you can tell them you'd like to contact your consulate because your consulate is your consulate. They're here to represent your interest. You can refuse to sign all paperwork. They might give you something to sign. You don't have to sign it. And in fact, I encourage you not to sign it because these are legal documentations that might have long-lasting consequences. So you might not understand exactly what it means. They might say, oh, you can sign it because it's this, this, and that. And when you hear from the shout, it is something completely different. So I would really advise people not to sign any documentation. Tell them you would like to have an attorney review that stuff. So does that make sense?
Make a lot of
What do you have to
sense.
say about that?
I'm just listening because remember, I am also in an immigration thing, but through Donald Trump win now, I'm a straight nation. Me not really worry myself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a great point, Foota. Should
Yeah.
immigrants be worried? I think so. I think, all right, so he's going to come out swinging, right? So for the next 3 to 6 months, he's going to come out swinging. He's going to do all kinds of stuff. The majority of the stuff is going to be litigated. So, for example, the birthright citizenship thing, right? That's
Yeah, them
up for
shut down there.
yeah, so this is what's going to happen because most of what he wants to do is not constitutional. And us immigration lawyers and civil rights lawyers and so forth have already been working on being proactive to be able to file lawsuits right away. But immigrants should be concerned because what they're trying to do is to sow chaos. They're trying to sow confusion.
I make people run
And
up and down.
yes.
But as I say, because Donald Trump watch my life, them, and him know what me stand for and know say I mean a straight nation. So, me just wait till him get less busy, me and him will have vibe and start out with it. You
But you
understand?
think I said go put on?
No, man, him know me an ambassador for straightness. So,
But let me give you an example of how quickly things change, right? You saw me the other night in Miami, right? And you know some drive from Miami go straight to court in Orlando the other day, right?
yeah.
So I was working on this case, and actually the case is a case that needed to just be terminated and be done with it, right? And I've been working with the prosecutors from last year, February, until now. And they didn't sign off on the documents in time for the hearing, because that hearing really should not have taken place. It should have been canceled. But guess what? The prosecutor couldn't even look me in the face, because she know what she was pulling was foolishness. The case should have been terminated. We shouldn't have a hearing. Guess what? I ended up having to take a deportation order for my clients. I'm going to reopen the case, but all of this, elections have consequence, all the things that the Department of Justice is now pushing down, it is going to be much more difficult. So even people who have no crimes, no nothing, my clients didn't have no arrest. It was just that they came in through the border. Yet and still, those people are going to get deportation orders. Whereas before, under the previous administration, they would take into consideration, well, how long were these people in the country? Were they paying taxes? Do they have any criminal history? Do they have any children born here? Are there any serious medical conditions we need to take into account? And that now is out the door. So my deportation practice is going to be through the roof, because they are cracking down very, very much. And not even a week, this man has been in office, and I'm already seeing it.
So, what would your best advice be to, especially people who came across the border? Is it that they should quit their jobs and stay in their house and die for hunger and suffer? What is your advice as a legal person?
First of all, my advice is this: have faith. Remember, I said this is Donald Trump 2.0, We did survive him before, so why you guys think we're not going to survive him again?
No, but when you say we survive him, me and you think different. We and them are not the same. We. Them come cross border. Them are try to make a life and them not have nothing, no papers, no nothing. No. So me and you can speak like them. I'm talking about people who don't have nothing for bank pan.
Well, so I will disagree. You know me, I always disagree. Anyway, but number one, when I say we, I'm not going to exclude anybody. I'm not going to categorize immigrants as, oh, this one came in legal, this one crossed the border, this one this. We're all immigrants. And even though I'm a citizen from Wapikil, Phillip, I am still an immigrant, because I could have been one of those people, right? So I
You
think we
know
have to
Trump no
stay
business
focused.
for a book. Trump no business if you have book or not. But what me I say, I am more concerned than you advising me about the people who came to the border who don't have nothing, not even an empty paper. What would your advice be to them right now in this case?
Yeah, okay. So my advice is, one, have a plan. Number two, like a plan, like a lot of people are like, oh my God, what if them pick up so and so? What's going to happen to my children? What's
Right.
going to happen to my documents? So make sure you have a plan where you put all of your documents, your important documents together. You have an emergency person who, let's say something happened to you or the person, that person knows where all of your medical stuff is, your personal documents, your banking information, such that if anything needs to happen, everything is in one place. You have a contact. The third thing is also to have a consultation with an attorney, because you need to know whether you have a case or not, right? And a lot of people have cases and don't know. And let me tell you about one kind of case that the last 2 years, we have taken on a lot of them, human trafficking cases. And I have many Jamaicans in this situation. So for example, most people, when you hear about human trafficking, what do you think about?
Kidnapping, picnic, kids.
Kidnapping, picnic, yeah. Sex trafficking, right?
Yeah,
Putting people in the sex work and things
yeah.
like that.
Organ doing in business and them something.
all kind of stuff. So most people would never think they could qualify for something like that. But guess what? The most of the cases that I've done have to do with labor trafficking. Now, what does that mean? It means that perhaps you are the victim of labor trafficking, which is also considered human trafficking. So a lot of people on the program, you hear about people coming up on the work program, right? Our farm work, our hotel work, right? These people were told certain things. For example, okay, you're coming up to come to work as, I don't know, X, Y, or Z. This is the contract. We're going to pay you such and such amount to perform such and such hours and everything sign up and you think everything is good. When they come up now, sometimes the employers, they will take the people them documents. They will say, if you don't do this, we're not going to renew the visa. They will exploit them, make them work overtime and not pay them. Furthermore, you might expect a paycheck. Yeah, okay, you know what? May I go sacrifice, come I go get, let's say I'm gonna get $500-$600 a week. You see, by the time them take out housing, them take out this, they take out everything. You might walk away with $100-$200 a week. That is labor trafficking. And most people would not know that because they're afraid to talk about it. They're afraid to even say things like that because them no want to go back to Jamaica, so me I go take whatever me get because me no really have no rights and I want them renew the visa the next time. So it's important to talk to an attorney and to really tell all the details of your life so that you can figure out if there is a way you can get a green card, not just a visa. So this kind of visa that I'm talking about, people, you can look up a T visa, right? That's the human trafficking visa. These actually lead to green cards. Another one is a U visa. If you have been the victim of a certain type of crime in the United States and you report it and you cooperate with law enforcement, you can get your green card that way too. But a lot of people don't know that.
So you can get the green card as an informer.
It is not the informer green card. Actually, it's called a S visa. So that's the snitch visa, I call it. That's different from the T visa.
No, you just said the U visa, where if you know about crime and tell them you can get your green card. So
no, it's that if you are the victim of a crime. This S visa is if you know about a crime and you report it to them.
All right, so the U visa, the one where if somebody this year and you go tell police.
That doesn't count. It's like, okay, you were shot.
No, you said if you're a
raped.
victim.
Yeah.
If you're a victim, then that means if somebody do something to you then, and you go tell the police and the case gets solved and that is still informing. Because we are bad people, we are fighting back with our Ghana station.
Well, you know what? You have to do whatever you can do. But if you are the victim, and most of the times the person doesn't have to be prosecuted, because a lot of times they don't know. Let's say it was an armed robbery, you don't know what person. But you report it, I got robbed, I was beaten. Yeah. And you suffered extreme hardship. So, you also have to undergo all kinds of background check. But I've done hundreds of those cases where people are like, oh God, this happened to me. Or something happened to your spouse or your child. So my first case of a U visa was a little girl. She was about 15 or 16 when she came to my office, and she told me that when her parents went to work and the neighbor was supposed to watch her, he didn't rape her, but he molested her and was touching her. Yeah. And we reported the crime, even though it happened many years ago, and we took her to the Child Advocacy Center for her to get checked out and so forth. And right now we went through the whole process, and both her parents and her was able to get the U visa because she was the victim of a crime. Okay. So it's not just to you, it could be to an immediate family member.
Okay, so the U visa is the semi-informant victim visa. The S1 now are the 100% informal visa. Okay.
Listen, foota. Me no want you make the people them don't want to do U visa because them think it's informer. It
No,
is
but the
not.
more the informal run now, you get more clients. Because the informal them enough. So you get more
Me
clients for
can't
the S
manage, you
visa
know.
than the U one. Yeah. So
All right, but the
that's
S
very
visa now.
informative.
All right, the S visa. It's called an S visa, but I call it the snitch visa because, let's say you are part of a conspiracy. You know, are doing the thing, and everybody 4 hour get catch, right? You
Mm-hmm.
want to come out right now, so you are gonna make a deal with the prosecutor to say,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, me I gonna tell you really what happened, and then the three of them gone to prison, and you come out, right? That is the spirit of the S visa.
So
If you have
that's
knowledge,
a 6-9 visa, right?
call it what you will, but it's a snitch visa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. That's why
Mm-hmm.
so much. That's why so much you told me know they're jail. Then nobody there. You see, all the crew have 20 and now go one man always out, and the rest of them are got jail. Mighty God.
Mm-hmm. Because some people, I mean, it is what it is. People do what they gotta do. Someone said,
Mhm.
is it also available for men? Of course. So okay, so someone wants to talk about VAWA. So yes, so I'm talking about humanitarian options for people, and this is outside of, you know, marrying somebody, and I'll talk about something about this marriage thing. So the VAWA means Violence Against Women Act, right? But it's not only women. We have quite a few men victim, but man no one talks to the woman abuse them and thing like that,
No,
right?
here why?
So a lot
Because here why man not really talk about it now. Because man think abuse a ungle when somebody put hands by you.
correct.
So and like the man them no want talk about the abuse, but them not see it as abuse. You understand what I
Yeah.
say? Because I might not think when a woman say, oh, who that in their phone, search phone and cuss and fling figure and them something there and stab your car tire or broke out your window or lock you out of the house because she feel like you go out with girl or she smell perfume by you and them. So all of that are abuse, you know. But
Okay, Futa. There is a difference between a bad relationship and abuse. And someone said VAWA is only for women. No, it is for men as well. And it doesn't have to just be spouse. The spouse has to be a citizen or a green card holder. It can also be children who abuse the parents. So it's spouse or you're abused by your child. But anyway,
um,
bad relationship doesn't necessarily mean VAWA. There is a difference. You have to suffer extreme anguish, extreme cruelty is actually the legal term. So for example, it's not just that you get in an argument with your person, it's that the person say you are no good. Like they use psychological manipulation, they control. It's about the
yeah,
control.
suppose the woman know true she vex, she cook and no give her food and you dead for her in her house and them something there. That
Then your hand
abuse?
broke, you're not gonna eat.
No, you can't go in that pot, she will stab you. So that not abuse?
It depends. You can't look at these things in isolation. So is it a pattern? I did have a guy actually. He married this black American woman and him come up and he didn't get a job right away. So the woman just switched on him. And she used to literally put a lock. She put a lock on the fridge so he couldn't eat. She took away his green card, right? She would tell him, say him workless, him not, and all of those things put together created the abuse because she was exerting her power and control over him. So you have to look at the whole thing, and that's why it's important to get an analysis from a knowledgeable attorney.
So what if the woman step out of the relationship and go breed or You know, find next man and then she start dealing with the wicked and get pregnant by the next man and end up mash up a thing. All that.
First of all, I see a lot of people in the comments talking about woman wicked. Well, man wicked too. And we don't
But
want that. We want
Bridget, we
kindness.
don't bother want to get another man, woman, something like
Yeah, we're
that.
not we're not
You're
good there.
going to get your feelings. No, I mean, not bother. Me no want that. What more you answer that question there for me? The man and the woman married, she cheat, breed, because she breed, she run go divorce the man behind him back and get the man in a problem. All that work.
Yes. So that does it doesn't always. Like I say, you have to look at the totality of the circumstances, right? So I have one case where there was a lot of cheating, there was giving up
Oh,
STDs. So we can
God.
use that to talk about psychological abuse, right? Because no, everything messed up. And you know, the big argument in Jamaica now about the whole jacket thing, we can also use that to say that is a use of the system against the person. So yes, it can be, but I also have to know that there are other things. It can't just be that one thing in isolation.
Okay.
Sometimes they control people. They don't want you to have friends. That's a sign. You can't go out with your friend them, both men and women, right? Deal with this. They want to looking at your phone. You can't have no personal space. They control how you spend your money. So this kind of case is very much tied into power and control. So it's not just a bad relationship. It has to have power and control and lead to extreme cruelty.
You know, say one question you still not answer me yet,
Which one?
though, Miss Barrett. What are the border people who work and go about them daily business every day? What is the best advice you have for them now? Does Trump have him team I go crazy?
Then me not tell you. May I tell you say one, them need to be prepared with all of them documentation together.
Them not have no
Two,
document.
they do have documents. Okay, so my firm, I represent the majority of Mexicans and people from Central America, and they do have documents. They have their matricula consular. That's like their national ID, they have their passports, they have their birth certificates, they just don't have an American legal
Oh,
document.
so
So
yeah, say
most
like even the Jamaican them still have them Jamaican birth certificate and them ID.
definitely, definitely. So for those
Remember I say,
people we don't have option for married people and things like that, they have to start looking into alternatives. So that's why I start talking about the labor trafficking, because we have a lot of those cases. VAWA, the abuse ones, the U visa ones, and
I
also
the
if they have children
informer
here.
one.
Yeah, but that one doesn't lead. That one doesn't lead to a green card. So I don't do those cases because let me tell you, in order to get that visa, the law enforcement have to sign off on it. And most of the time for the S visa, them trick the people them and them don't sign off. And if they don't sign off, you don't get the visa.
Uh,
Yeah.
so we still have a question because most of the people them run come across the border, them don't bring the identification because them don't want if them get old like border. Remember, say them not fully understand it. Them just go through the thing. We want the people when not have no nothing at all, but them at work, them law abiding, them go to work every day with a restaurant or near shop or ear shop or barber shop. And this are going now. You still not tell me what advice. You advise them to not go to work, stay home.
Oh,
What?
that kind of advice.
Yeah.
No, man. I tell people you have to still live your life. You have to survive. But don't do anything that would put you in jeopardy with law enforcement. So if you drive your car, you don't have no driver license, make sure say you don't speed. Make sure you check and make sure that all of your lights are working because they'll pull you over for those pretexts. Oh, we saw you speeding, your light was out. They'll use any excuse to stop you. So make sure even little things like that you take care of. But at the end of the day, you have to live your life. And I try to remind people that God is still in control. So if you didn't make it through when Trump was in the first time, you can make it again. You just have to really stay the straight and narrow. And I'm going to say something that might be unpopular, which is at the end of the day, if the government decides that you have to go home, then just go home and try to start over. Maybe there's something in your home country that you need to do, right? So it is quite different for different
Yeah,
people, but they
because
have to live
some
their
of them
life.
will come across the border cannot go home. If them go home for 5 minutes, them dead. So
That's
um, yeah, trust me, me know some of them cannot go back. Before them go back, they rather jump off our building up here and dead. Them not going back.
Or what about find an alternative country to go to?
Oh, them not going nowhere near airport. Them man not going, no, you must be mad. Them man, you have to kill them in America. They have to take crane and take them out. You must be mad. Them not, me don't know if you understand. You have some people with them life, they are the brink of end.
Right.
And them end up there. So them not, me know a brother where get through with papers and everything. And the man say, foota, if me, you, the man cut up him green card and him get it. Him not going nowhere. The man say, me not going nowhere. They say, you not go Jamaica, go look. The man said, Joe, where? You must be crazy. The man say, him not going nowhere. The man, him say, when him dead America, him want bury him. They want him body. Go
Wow.
touch.
Well,
No
there
joke.
are legitimately people who can go back for whatever reason, but that's not the vast majority of people, though.
No, no,
That's
no.
the truth.
Of course not. Of
Mhm.
course not.
Mhm.
Well, it was nice conversating with you. And that the word conversation or having a conversation, which me not too good at English, but it was very important. We're gonna do a second one, but today hectic for me, so I can't stay up on the phone with you forever. And then you stop, you not drive, and
Me not drive, so people are like, "Why are you driving?" No, my son is driving,
ah,
so I wasn't driving. But I
okay,
want to say one more thing, Futa,
yeah,
and then let's the next one we can talk about reggae visas and stuff like that. But for this one, I really wanted to make a point about two things that you should never do if you ever want to stand a chance in this country, right?
mm-hmm,
Number one, never you ever make a false claim to US citizenship. So that means that don't use nobody US citizen birth certificate, passport, vote. Don't do anything like that because nobody, no lawyer, nobody can ever help you to overcome something like that. So if you ever get caught with that, you are done. So just don't do it. Don't buy no fake papers. Don't do that stuff because you will never come back from that. Okay? Second thing is this business marriage. Don't do it. Do not do it. A lot of people think, say, well, but just go get married and, start out the thing and stuff. It never goes well. Maybe you could get away with it back in the days, but no, no, sir. They will come to your house. They will go to your job. They will go to your mother house. Because I've had clients that these things has happened to. And the thing is, if they ever say that you made a false, you had a fake marriage to get your papers, you're done. So let's say you did do a false marriage and it didn't go well. The person never go to the interview with you. They wanted to extort more money from you and all of the things. Got everything nice in the beginning. But then things will always go wrong. And if the immigration services suspect that you entered into this marriage fake, you're done. So you could have married to 10 other people after that, people who you love. You have a family. Like I had this one client, she got married to this guy, and the thing didn't work out. He didn't go to the interview. This was back in 1989, I think, 89 or 90. And a few years after that, she met her husband, who is her husband now. They have 4 children. He's a citizen. And guess what? This lady still have a deportation. And his petition for her will never be be granted because of the past. So those are just 2 things. Please, may I beg you no. Don't claim to be a U.S. citizen when you're not, and don't get married for business purposes.
That sound like you style for make every man go married now for real love. You think you're slick? I trick the man them, you know. You see you? You're there fight with a woman struggling, you.
Them not woman name, so me
Yeah,
bad lucky.
yeah, man, you think you're slick, bro. Bro, yeah, man, go fall in love for real and make sure you.
And Foota, I do believe in real love. I do believe in true love.
Do
So
you
if you want
believe
to get your papers,
in
find somebody
love
where you
after
really love.
love? I really feel it. I'm strong enough. Oh. Do you
You get too much trouble.
believe in love after love?
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Sometimes I when I'm married for real, I'm married for real love. Them girls are wicked. Them still mash up your thing. I tell you.
well, if you don't behave for yourself, maybe the thing gonna get mashed up.
So why are we for be able to say, oh, you know the woman them not bad?
I'm not saying them no bad.
Sometimes they
Both
with a
sides.
woman and true you wear Levi jeans were big and she want a tight pants boy. You know bleach, she want a bleacher. You know gunman, she want a man with gun pan belly, the Beretta never. You know that? Sometimes girl them bad.
Yeah. Me not excuse nobody. I just want people to be good to themselves, good to each other. And as an immigrant community, I really want us to stand together, because the next 4 years is going to be a real challenge. So let's just be good to one another. That's all we can do.
I see a very important question here. Somebody said, is the lawyer single?
Oh, Jesus. Actually, I am.
What?
Recently divorced after 25, 7 years, something like that.
You see what I tell her, I say, woman wicked, look how long the man married her and she left him in her last dream get old. Yo, man. Yo, man. Bridget, you're wicked, man. Stay, yo. Cut Jesus clippers. So the man gets old, have gray hair, and him right me, no good. Bridget,
Oh,
divorce the
oh
man. Cha-cha.
my God. You are horrible.
Well, have a safe drive and, reaching safe. People, she is also representing Beenie Man and a lot of things. So she's actually coming to Rise and Toast. So anybody want pictures and autographs and stuff like that, she will be there. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yes, well, thank you again for the invitation. Sorry about all the technical difficulties, but people, my law firm is called the Bennett Law Center, so you can follow us. And my Rega Visa lawyer page is the more appropriate page. This is my personal one.
Yeah. Zaga. Yeah. So you know me a viral king, Beenie Man a king of dancer and she a king of the lobbies. Oh, queen, sorry. My bad.
Queen.
Yeah, my
Queen
bad.
bee.
Sorry. Yeah, queen bee. Yeah. Zaga.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll see you in a couple hours. Who that hide behind you?
No, Nikki, watch her. See her there?
Nikki, oh yeah, hide so Nikki. People and Nikki that she cut Jesus slippers and teeth in brief. So